Hey guys, it's Brandon with Investment Joy. Doing a real quick video of this place. It's one of my absolute favorite properties. I'm told it's a Victorian style. I don't really know that for sure, but it's a Victorian style three-story apartment complex. There's actually 5 units in here. I bought it in 2017 off Mr. Gary. We've talked about Mr. Gary quite a bit. He's an older landlord that was one of the largest here in town. He actually owned 32 rentals up till I bought most of them off of him. He's actually the guy that started the local real estate investment association, which is really cool. The one that I'm actually the president of today. And he bought this with his wife in 1980. It was I think it was the actual first rental property that he ever owned. It's in a really kind of crummy neighborhood, but the history of this place is just absolutely astronomical. You'll notice on this street there's, let's see, there's 2, there was 3, they tore it down here, 4, 5, 6 German brick ranches here. Similar to the other video that we shot recently. These were actually started by the railroad. This street was developed initially by the C, D, and H Railroad. It linked Huntington, West Virginia with Dayton, Ohio. See, that's the H and D. And it was one of the first railroads in the state of Ohio. They actually predated the Civil War, but it became very prominent in the area because of the Civil War, moving supplies to the war effort and things like that. And they started developing this whole street for the purposes of the railroad. This house was built in 1980. A lot of the houses farther down the street were built in the mid 1800s. I own one over there. It's the old train station that was built in 1860. And it actually is pre-Civil War. The trusses in there are gigantic 6x6 or 6x10 logs. In 1900, the B&O Railroad, if you've ever played Monopoly, B&O Railroad purchased the C, D, and H Railroad in its entirety and developed this area more, and that's when this building was built, and that's when all these brick buildings were built. And the idea was to keep the entire train staff in close proximity to the train station. The apartment complex that I have here today, it was actually owned by not the owner, but like the regional director, not the assistant to the regional director, the actual director for the railroad. Those German brick ranches across the street were the engineers. So the regional guy and all of his workers were in this area. They also had a little tiny apartment complex, like a hotel where the transient railroad workers would come. Now, we're inside the first floor of this building. Like I said, it was originally a house. So in this building, the woodwork quality is significantly better than any of the houses that I am used to. If we get down here, you'll see that each room in this has a design on it. I don't know if you can see it. It starts off with the wood. One person told me they thought it was mahogany. Another person said that it was cherry. And it starts in the outside of the room, and it wraps around to these designs. This is an old fireplace that is original, but they bricked it up to prevent draft because no one burns wood here in town, or a few people do it here in town anymore, and they don't use those old fireplaces. But it starts with the outer edge, and it wraps its way around to the center of it. Like I've said on the title, I purchased this property off Mr. Gary for a princely sum of $35,000. Not $350,000, $35,000. If you look here, these are actual working, if I can pull them, I don't think I can get them. They're pocket doors. You'll just have to believe me that they work. I can't do this. Yeah, they're pocket doors. Just trust me. Trust some random stranger on YouTube. But it has all these features. There's a bay window here, and it wraps around and makes a triangle there. the craftsmen that built this house had to measure and make all the measurements for it. You'll notice there's all these old stains on the floor. When I purchased the house, the whole floor was covered in carpet. And boomers would do that. They would take nice wood floors, they would put carpet in them, they would have animals in here, the animals would urinate on the floors. Carpet keeps in the moisture and we end up with these brown stains. The thing is though, I mean, they're not dirty, they're clean, and it makes them look very weathered, a bit, they're dirty. But $35,000 off Mr. Gary. So this was a fantastic deal. Now, Mr. Gary's wife unfortunately passed away in 2013, and he handed off his 32-unit portfolio to his son to manage. The whole portfolio brought in about $12,000 a month revenue, not income. It wasn't the bottom line, but revenue. Every month, and his son more or less ran it into the ground, and this was one of the units. When I took it over, many of the windows were busted out on the second floor. There were pigeons living in here, and it was an absolute awful mess. I bought the package, 24 of the 32 properties. I bought them for about $300,000. Now it's a kind of a complicated deal with the finances, and we'll talk about the money situation a little bit later. This is where their washer and dryer hookups are. The washer and dryer over the course of years had leaked out plenty of times. The underlying wood is in good shape, it's just ugly. And because they kept carpet in here like many boomers do, it caused the moisture to damage the floors a bit. They're very much repairable, but they kind of suck on the look of them. We've got built-in storage here that's been here since who knows how long. And overall, it's a nice house, but like I said, there's 5 total units here, and I bought it for $35,000. I put a total of $15,000 in it, giving me a total acquisition plus rehab price of $50,000 for 5 units. So that's $10,000 per unit. After I had this property for 6 months, or I guess I should back up. My landlord that I've mentioned before that kicked my family out when I was 6 years old, he actually came in and helped me get initial financing with this property, meaning he helped me do a deal on most of Mr. Gary's properties. He financed part of that money, $60,000, so it was enough to buy this property, fix it up, and then do some work on other properties in the package. Here is the kitchen. The kitchen sucks. We need to put a new one in. Most of these cabinets here are 50 to 60 years old. They just need refinished. We weren't ready to do it. We put new countertops in from Menards. These are the mid-grade. They're really cheap. And then the tenant said she wanted to repaint all of the cabinets here, the top and bottom cabinets. She took the doors off. She kind of got sick, which is why this one's vacant. She's been having some very severe health issues and she needed to move into a different location. So that's why we got this back on vacancy. She's been looking to move relatively soon, and she's taken pretty good care of it considering her health situation. So we've got to put the cabinet doors back on. The cabinet doors are actually right over here with paint to refinish it off. So I've got $50,000 in the property. The property rents, this unit here rents for about $450 to $500, being a 2-bed, 1-bath apartment. Now we have to include some utilities on the property because of it being old. Many of the utilities just aren't split, which is kind of a problem with older properties. So it ends up being about $650-ish, all utilities included, which is a pretty decent price, I think. The neighborhood's not great. Better than some of the neighborhoods up in Columbus, but not the greatest here in town. And you're still maybe 45 minutes from 270, close to downtown Columbus. So the location's pretty decent proximity-wise. Like I said, this is the first floor. So I've got $50,000 in the property. It rents this one unit, all things considered, $650. The next unit we're going to look at is $550 with utilities included. But once you factor out the utilities, I'm really getting about $400 a month on it. I am walking out here to the common area, and we've got this totally awesome door and stairs. So we've got this staircase that goes all the way to the 3rd floor, and it is gorgeous. There's all this woodwork here, That's amazing. Of course, we got crappy paneling from the 70s here. Then we've got this gorgeous woodwork that, hallelujah, nobody painted, which is always a common thing with these cheaper rentals. Is that a null post? I don't know. Whatever they call it on Christmas Vacation. I know I knew that word at one time. We've got this great door with, it's not stained glass, but it almost looks like it. It's got a really cool design. We've of course got chicken wire over the window because, you know, Southern Ohio and whatnot. So I am walking to the second floor of the apartment complex. The woodwork goes all the way to the third floor. We've got this great banister. It's a little dirty in here. My cleaning lady was supposed to be here and she missed it. I'm responsible for maintaining these common areas, and let's take a couple steps back because it looks cool. Makes me feel like I'm in a nicer apartment than I actually am, but you know. So we've got this. All right. So we're going to go look at this other unit. I have 2 vacancies this month, which is really kind of surprising. This is one of my favorite studio apartments. Let me see, I'm going to have to try and find lights. Oh, there's no light in here. I forgot. Yay. So this is one of my favorite apartments or studios because it's technically a studio. This is the bedroom / living room. There's some stains on the carpet. Not from the most recent tenant. She was like actually the cleanest tenant that I've had. It's from the prior tenant that was here for like, I think 3 months, and she trashed it. It makes me mad. So here is the kitchen. I'm staying in the kitchen, and it is my favorite. You'll see why here in a second. Got new floors in here. The kitchen's from the 70s. Now, I don't know if you guys can see it from the view here, but this kitchen is totally giant. It is about 14, maybe 15 feet wide, and then about 16 feet deep. For our friends that live in countries that haven't been on the moon, you're looking about 4 to 5 meters wide by 5 to 6 meters long. So 20 square meters, what's that, about 300 square feet. So this kitchen is huge. It's got a built-in oven with it. It's got an actual gas stove, which is great. We didn't put this kitchen in, Mr. Gary put it in, which, to me, it's really cool. It's a nice big kitchen. I like to cook. The people that have been here, they like to cook. We put newer floors in, and it's just how it is. We'll take a look at the bathroom. It is totally not anything to write home about. But this apartment's just so cool, and I got it for $35,000. So I took the property to the bank after I owned it for 6 months, and they appraised this baby at $148,000. Triple just about what I paid for it. Now, if you ever deal with bank financing, you'll find out that they won't typically loan you the amount of money that it's appraised for. So we actually loaned, I think it was 80% LTV, which is $124,000. So I used that $124,000 to fix up the rest of Mr. Gary's properties, or at least some of them. Got a hole in the door, that's great. Oh. Nice. So here's the bathroom. It's a cheap little bathroom. Nothing special, it's not great. But you know, for $400, this apartment's not bad. The bottom apartment for $500, that's not bad either. Yes, the neighborhood sucks, but it's one of those things where you can live in a place and I'll never raise the rent. I did have to put a metal roof on the back part of it because it was leaking like crazy. I've had to call contractors back 2 or 3 times because I constantly get ripped off. So talking about the finances again, 50 into it, 148 appraisal, I cashed out 124. After utilities are included, the accountants that watch my videos are going to yell and scream and get angry at me, but I bring in about $2,400 a month on my rent. The taxes and insurance cost me less than $200 a month. Taxes are really cheap because of the neighborhood. Insurance is pretty cheap because I got a corporate policy on this. It's really cool. They come in and they have to physically inspect the property a couple times, and oh, that sucks. But they come in and assess the property, and they say, hey, this is in good shape. The chances of it catching on fire are pretty low. We're going to give me a good rate on it. Utilities run me about $500 a month, which is terrible because not everything in here is separately metered. Some of the apartments are. The 3rd story up top above this, it's separately metered, which is nice. But the 1st floor is partially combined, and the 2nd floor is totally combined, so I have to pay some utilities, which I hate to do. So $2,400, less 600, that leaves us $1,800 a month, $200 a month in taxes and insurance about. So now we're down to $1,600 per month. Debt service on this place, I know for a fact because I just paid the bill today, is $850 on that $124,000 loan. I think it's about 5.5% interest on a 20-year amortization. So 850 minus, what did we say, 1,600, that leaves me $650 cash flow a month, then plus whatever real repairs cost. Maybe I'm doing the math wrong, but I figured out I cash flow on this property about $600 a month, which isn't bad because I also recouped, what is it, $70,000 on the cash out refinance, which is cool. I mean, I didn't put that money in my pocket. That would be great, but I used it to fix other properties of Mr. Gary. So once again, I figured I would show you guys the inside of one of the Gary Deal properties and kind of try to explain things away, talk about the finances a little more. So I only a bank came in about 6 months after this, and we did the refinance and things like that. It's by far one of my favorite properties, and it's nice and old. It's owned by the railroad station and everything like that. If you guys like these videos, can you do me a favor? Give me a thumbs up. Maybe consider following me on Instagram or subscribing. I would definitely appreciate that. I've got, 20 or 30 other houses I can do this kind of tour on and talk about the history, the railroads, everything like that. One of these days I'll go back through the train station and show you guys what we did after the remodel. I shot a video, like 2 years ago when I was in the middle of rehabbing Mr. Gary's properties that I had bought. And the thing with that was that I needed money. Bills were being paid, needed to be paid, and I wasn't making any money on YouTube. So I did what any self-respecting entrepreneur would do, and I rented the property before taking a video of the rehab. But now that I'm making some money on YouTube, which is kind of cool, I can go through and talk about these properties a little more in detail, which is what I would love to do. I know that everybody's watching my videos on quarter collection and laundromats, but this is what I love. I love fireplaces like that. I love floors. I love history like that, and I can get kind of paid to do these kinds of videos and talk about exactly how I did it. If you have questions, feel free to ask them. I try to read over all my comments. I don't know how long that's going to happen for, but I'm at least, gosh darn it, going to try. So guys, this is Brandon once again with Investment Joy. Thanks for watching, and like the video. Yay!